Hi, I'm Phoenix Thottam, founder of the law offices of Phoenix Thottam. If you're a landlord in Los Angeles and your tenant has stopped paying rent, violated the lease, or refuses to leave after their tenancy has ended, you may need to file an unlawful detainer action, commonly known as an eviction lawsuit. California eviction law has become increasingly complex in recent years, especially in Los Angeles. I've seen many cases where a simple mistake in a notice or court filing resulted in significant delays and additional expense for the landlord. In this video, I'll walk you through the basic eviction process and explain what landlords should generally expect. Let's start with the first step, identifying the legal basis for the eviction. In most cases, the reason falls into one of two categories: non-payment of rent or a significant violation of the lease. Non-payment of rent is straightforward. The tenant simply has not paid rent that is legally due. Lease violations can include things like unauthorized occupants, unauthorized pets, illegal subletting, nuisance activity, or other substantial breaches of the rental agreement. Once you've identified the legal basis for the eviction, the next step is serving the proper notice. For non-payment cases, landlords typically serve a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit. For certain lease violations, landlords often serve a 3-day notice to perform covenant or quit, which gives the tenant an opportunity to correct the problem before an eviction lawsuit is filed. This step is critical. If the notice is defective, the entire case may be delayed or dismissed. If the tenant fails to comply with the notice, the next step is filing the unlawful detainer lawsuit. The lawsuit asks the court to restore possession of the property to the landlord and may also seek unpaid rent, damages, court costs, and other available remedies. After the lawsuit is filed, the tenant must be formally served with the court papers. At that point, the tenant has a limited period of time to respond. The tenant may file an answer, challenge the case through legal motions, request additional time, or simply fail to respond. If no response is filed, the landlord may be able to obtain a default judgment. If the tenant contests the case, the matter proceeds toward trial. One thing many landlords don't realize is that unlawful detainer cases move much faster than ordinary civil lawsuits. Tenants may raise defenses involving notice issues, habitability concerns, rent disputes, fair housing claims, rent control protections, or other procedural challenges. Because courts require strict compliance with eviction laws, careful preparation is essential. If the case proceeds to trial, the judge will determine whether the landlord followed the required procedures and whether the tenant's conduct legally justifies eviction. If the landlord prevails, the court will enter judgment for possession and may also award damages and costs. However, winning the case does not immediately remove the tenant. The landlord must obtain a writ of possession, and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department will then post a notice to vacate. If the occupants still do not leave, the sheriff conducts the lockout and restores possession of the property to the landlord. Only the sheriff can physically remove occupants from the property. Before I finish, I want to mention one important warning. California prohibits what are commonly called self-help evictions. Landlords should never change locks, shut off utilities, remove doors, remove tenant property, or attempt to force a tenant out without a court order. Those actions can expose a landlord to significant liability and damages. In conclusion, every eviction case is different, particularly in Los Angeles, where local ordinances, the Tenant Protection Act, rent control laws, and procedural requirements can significantly affect the outcome. Every eviction case is unique, particularly in Los Angeles, where local ordinances and tenant protection laws can significantly impact the process. I'm Phoenix Thottam, founder of the law offices of Phoenix Thottam. If you're facing an eviction issue, need to recover possession of your property, or have questions about your rights as a landlord, I invite you to contact my office. Please visit phoenixthottamlaw.com and feel free to call me at 310-4977-255. I look forward to speaking with you.